You hear the scratching behind the wall. You set a cheap plastic trap. You wait, nothing. 2 days later, you find droppings on your kitchen counter and chewed wiring in the garage. Poison is out. It kills slowly, it smells, and it puts your pets at risk. There is a method Japanese facility crews use in commercial warehouses. It requires $0. It uses scrap you already own, and it works the first night. I am a third-generation janitor. I have cleared rat infestations from restaurant basements, hospital storage rooms, and apartment buildings. The method I am giving you today is not a myth. It is a mechanical trap system built on Japanese maintenance principles. You will learn exactly how to build it, where to place it, and why rats cannot avoid it. No chemicals, no store-bought gadgets, just physics, behavior, and discipline. Most people fail with rats because they treat them like insects. You do not spray a rat. You do not chase it. Rats are neophobic. They fear new objects. When you drop a plastic trap in the corner, they study it for days. They avoid it. They test it with debris. If it snaps on a broom handle 3 times, they learn the pattern. Then they ignore it completely. Poison is worse. It takes 3 to 5 days to work. During that window, the rat carries the toxin through your walls, into your ceiling, and behind your cabinets. When it dies, you cannot reach it. The smell lingers for weeks, flies breed. You trade one problem for a sanitation nightmare. I have pulled decomposed rats out of drop ceilings with a shop vac extension and a pry bar. I do not recommend it. Rats also multiply fast. A single pair produces up to 12 offspring every 6 weeks. If you leave one entry point unsealed, you're not solving an infestation. You are managing a population. Commercial buildings in Japan face the same pressure: tight spaces, high food waste, shared utility lines. The difference is not better chemicals, it's better systems. Japanese maintenance crews do not rely on poison. They rely on environmental control and mechanical capture. They remove the reason rats stay. They remove the path rats use. They set traps that exploit rat biology, not human guesswork. The core mistake people make is placement. You put traps along baseboards, but rats travel in established runs. You use peanut butter, but rats prefer dry grains and nesting material in winter. You check traps once a week, but rats move at night and adjust by morning. You are fighting a creature with excellent memory, sensitive whiskers, and a survival instinct sharper than yours. Without a system, you lose. With a system, you control it. The Japanese approach starts with a simple rule. If you cannot see the rat, you are cleaning the symptom, not the cause. Japanese facility management uses a framework called 5S: sort, set in order, shine, standardize, sustain. It sounds like office talk. It's actually pest control. Sort means removing clutter where rats nest. Set in order means sealing gaps and routing utility lines so they cannot be used as highways. Shine means cleaning grease and food residue that attract rodents. Standardize means repeating the process until it becomes routine. Sustain means never letting the environment slip back into chaos. This framework works because rats do not enter spaces randomly. They enter for 3 reasons: food, water, shelter. Remove 2, and the third becomes irrelevant. Japanese facility crews map rat runs before setting any trap. They look for grease marks along walls. They check for droppings near vents. They listen for scratching between midnight and 2 in the morning. That's when rats travel. Once they identify the run, they place mechanical traps directly in the path, not near it. The trap itself is built on a principle Japanese maintenance crews call unavoidable capture. It does not mean instant death by magic. It means the mechanism triggers the moment the rat commits to the path. There is no hesitation, no half-snapped tail, no slow escape. The design uses the rat's own weight and forward momentum. Rats push with their front paws when they sense a narrow passage. They pull with their hind legs to move through tight gaps. If you give them a false floor that drops at a specific angle, their center of gravity shifts before their brain registers danger. This is why poison fails. It relies on digestion. Digestion takes time. Time gives rats a chance to warn others. Rats communicate stress through ultrasonic calls. If one rat gets sick in a shared wall, the colony adjusts. Mechanical capture removes that warning period. The rat enters, the trap triggers, the outcome is immediate. The colony does not learn. The run stays open for the next capture. I have tested this in commercial kitchens where health inspectors shut down operations for rodent activity. I have used it in basements with cracked foundation walls. I have rebuilt the trap using only scrap from the janitor's closet. It works because it respects rat behavior instead of fighting it. You do not need expensive equipment. You need discipline, correct placement, and a system that forces the rat to make one decision. The decision is already made for them. Here is exactly how you build and deploy the trap. You will need 5 items you already own or can find for free: a 5-gallon bucket, a piece of scrap wood or sturdy cardboard, a ramp made from a flat board or folded cardboard, a dowel or broom handle, and a weight like a brick or a bag of sand. You do not need wire, nails, or glue. The system relies on balance and friction. First, prepare the bucket. Clean it thoroughly. Rats avoid soiled containers that smell like chemicals or decay. Fill the bucket with 2 inches of water. This is not for drowning, it is for noise suppression and scent control. The water breaks the surface tension when the rat falls, reducing panic sounds that could alert others. It also prevents the rat from climbing back out. Wet surfaces remove grip. Rats cannot scale a smooth, wet plastic wall. If you want immediate elimination, the water depth is sufficient. If you prefer live capture for relocation, skip the water and line the bottom with a thick layer of newspaper. The trap still works. Second, build the pivot ramp. Take your board or sturdy cardboard. Cut it to span the top of the bucket. You need enough length to reach from the floor to the rim at a shallow angle. The angle is critical. It must be steep enough to force forward movement, but shallow enough to look like a normal path. Rats will not climb a vertical slope. They will walk up a 15 to 20 degree incline without hesitation. Mark the center of the board. Drill or punch a small hole through the wood. If you are using cardboard, reinforce the hole with a folded edge or a metal ring from a jar lid. Slide the dowel or broom handle through the hole. The dowel acts as an axle. Rest both ends on the bucket rim. The board should pivot freely. If it sticks, sand the edges or adjust the dowel position. Third, create the trigger zone. Place your weight on the side of the board that hangs outside the bucket. This is the counterweight. The board should sit level when undisturbed. When a rat steps past the center point, the weight shifts. The board rotates. The rat drops into the bucket. The counterweight ensures the board returns to its original position. It resets automatically. You can catch multiple rats without touching the trap. Fourth, bait the approach. Do not place bait on the board. Rats will test it from the ground and retreat. Place bait at the base of the ramp, just before the incline. Use dry cat food, uncooked rice, or a small piece of bread. The goal is not to feed the rat. The goal is to draw it to the exact spot where it must commit to the ramp. Once it starts climbing, momentum takes over. It does not turn back. Rats are forward-moving creatures in confined spaces. Retreat feels like exposure. Climbing feels like progress. Fifth, placement. This is where most people fail. Do not put the trap in the middle of the room. Place it against a wall, aligned with the rat run. Look for dark streaks along baseboards. Those are grease marks from repeated contact. Place the ramp so the rat walks along the wall, meets the incline, and climbs without turning. Cover the sides of the ramp with cardboard or a folded towel to create a tunnel effect. Rats prefer enclosed paths. Open spaces make them pause. The tunnel removes hesitation. It forces forward movement. It guarantees the trigger point. Sixth, maintenance. Check the trap every morning. Remove the catch, clean the bucket, wipe the ramp, reset the counterweight. Do not skip this step. A single trapped rat leaves stress pheromones. If you leave it in place, other rats will avoid the area. Wear gloves, use a plastic bag for disposal. If you are using water, dump it outside away from your foundation. If you are using dry capture, relocate at least 2 miles from your property. Rats navigate by scent and landmarks. Close relocation brings them back. 7th, seal the environment. The trap catches rats. It does not stop new ones from entering. Walk your perimeter at night with a flashlight. Look for gaps around pipes, vents, and door sweeps. Any hole larger than a 1/4 inch is an entry point. Stuff gaps with steel wool. Do not use expanding foam alone. Rats chew through foam. Steel wool resists teeth. Secure it with a bead of silicone or mortar. Check under sinks. Check behind appliances. Check attic access panels. You must remove shelter and food sources. Keep trash in sealed bins. Wipe counters before bed. Store dry goods in glass or metal. Rats survive on crumbs. Deny them and they move on. I have used this system in a restaurant with a chronic rat problem. The owner spent hundreds on poison and snap traps. The infestation returned every month. I mapped the run along the dry storage wall. I built 2 bucket traps with scrap wood from a discarded pallet. I placed them at the grease line. I removed open bags of rice and flour. I sealed a gap behind the compressor. We caught 7 rats in 4 nights. The activity stopped. The health inspector passed the location on the next visit. No chemicals, no recurring cost, just physics and routine. This method works because it removes guesswork. You are not waiting for a rat to make a mistake. You are building a path where the only option is forward motion. You are using their own behavior against them. You are maintaining the environment so the trap does not become a warning sign. Do not overcomplicate it. Do not add wires, batteries, or sensors. Rats sense metal and electricity. They avoid unfamiliar vibrations. Keep the trap silent, keep it simple, keep it clean. Check it daily, reset it immediately. Follow the 5S discipline. Remove clutter, seal entries, clean residue. Repeat. If you follow these steps exactly, you will clear the run within a week. If you skip placement, leave bait on the board, or fail to seal the perimeter, you will waste time. Rats do not care about your schedule. They care about survival. Give them no cover, no food, no exit. The trap does the rest. I will leave a written diagram in the description. It shows the exact angles, counterweight measurements, and placement markers. Build it tonight, set it before midnight, check it at dawn. Report back in the comments with your results. I read every one.